Okay, Steve Tillman at Russell Field in Rome, Georgia, with my uncle on the According to Earl channel, YouTube channel, and I just wanted to. A lot of guys that are in aviation. I'm 62 now, and you're 89.
Right.
You're gonna be 90 this year.
98 next year, April 13th.
8 of 23, you'll be 90. Okay.
Okay.
You still fly anytime you're ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Okay. You've owned 23 or 24 airplanes.
23 airplanes.
I know it's been a bunch, but the particular airplane we're standing in front of is a 1978 182 RG
Right.
with a 235 horsepower engine.
Correct.
This is your second one.
Right.
All right, so these folks can get some perspective on appreciation of airplanes. The first one that you bought was in what year?
This airplane is a 1978, but in airplanes, about the only thing that's 1978 is a fuselage. For example,
Right.
this engine in this airplane is about 6 months old. And to put a new engine in an airplane like this, a factory reman engine, it's about $50,000. But this particular plane, for example, if you had my other plane, it would next to this one,
Twins.
you couldn't tell them apart.
Exactly.
And let's see, in 1980, I bought that plane, I believe, for $43,000.
$43,000, and it was
Had 500 hours on
had
it.
500 hours on it, and it was
It still smelled new. I never
2
had,
years old.
I never had smelled anything new.
New leather.
New leather,
Brand new.
brand new.
Okay, so just to give some perspective on the appreciation, and you've often commented about this, that the lawsuits and factories shutting down and everything, and the inventory, used inventory, just
Right.
going
right,
away.
Right.
All right, so fast forward 1980, 90, 2000, 2010, 2020, 42 years later.
This plane on the market today would be a little over 200,000. About 200,000.
If you could find one.
If you could find one. This airplane
And this thing's it's got a brand new engine in it.
got a new engine. It'll fly 150 knots, which is about 175 miles an hour, from miles per hour. Carry 4 people. It's an all instrument plane. You can fly through clouds. You don't want to fly through thunderstorms. Even Delta doesn't want to fly through
They
thunderstorms.
go around them.
But what people are doing today, I've never done this before, except with my son. We did some stuff together. But I have a partner in this airplane who is a chief. I don't know what his title is. It's big. He's a Delta captain, but he also
He's a check pilot.
he checks out other Delta pilots.
He's an FAA
Yeah,
designee,
yeah,
so to
yeah.
speak.
Yeah, I'd give him his name, but I didn't. I wouldn't have permission unless I asked him. But he might smile if we if he were here, you know. But for example, he and his wife just flew this plane to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, for the big air show.
Right.
And he's flown it to upstate New York, and he flew nonstop from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, well, right across the little lake up there, where his wife came from originally. And but this plane is they don't make this plane anymore. This plane is retractable. These wheels, they are stored. After you take off, you get about 500 or 600 feet. You put these wheels up, and you pick up about probably 10 or 12 miles an hour faster than
Straight leg.
the straight legs.
Yeah.
Now Cessna, they stopped. Golly, they stopped in I forgot what year it was.
About 80.
Must have been. They stopped for about 10 years, and they didn't build planes. None of the factories did. They didn't build them. Not general aviation airplanes.
Can we thank the lawyers for that?
I don't know. I think the general public probably, because when a lawsuit came up, somebody tried to collect as much as they could, you know. But they changed that. What was happening on airplanes back then, if you had an airplane that was several years old and there was an accident and they could prove that the carburetor went wrong, went bad,
Sue the factory.
they was whoever built the carburetor they'd sue them.
Oh, sue the factory and the manufacturer of the part.
Right.
Oh Lord.
So they finally changed that, and they're back buying them again. A local maintenance shop here takes care of the FBI planes, the planes like this one,
Out of Atlanta.
but they're straight leg.
Okay.
They're not retractable.
Popular airplane.
Very popular.
If somebody told you in 1980, you wait 20 years and you won't be able to buy one for $200,000, would you have believed it?
I wouldn't believe it. No.
But aviation fuel in this field today is,
A six. I think today it was about 640.
and in 1980, aviation fuel would have been $1.
Well, when I started in 1956, it was about 20 cents a gallon.
And your first airplane cost how much?
$1,500.
And it was what?
A Ronca Champ.
$1,500, and it wasn't old.
No, it's not. They after World War II, a lot of the factories came out. They thought everybody gonna learn how to fly. Everybody gonna have a plane in their garage, and they started building Aeronca Champs, Chiefs, Air Coups, Taylor Crafts, Luscombe's.
So you basically you bought a 10-year-old airplane for $1,500.
Yeah, and but you could buy a nice Ford or Chevrolet for let's say
About the same amount of money.
a little bit more than that.
$2,000.
Yeah, maybe you could buy a new Chevrolet. I remember I bought a new Ford in 1964. I think it was about $4,000. How much would a new Ford cost today?
Oh, 35.
$40,000.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's all relative.
Yeah, they say money is relative. The more money you have, the more relatives you have.
That's it.
Yeah.
They just keep coming to Rome to fly your airplane.
Yeah. But we've got graduates all over the country. We've got one young lady that she's flying helicopters now for the Army, and many of our pilots have gone on from here, and they gone into the military. Many of them now are going with the airlines.
Wow.
Now you can go to a school like Embry-Riddle.
Right.
I mean, here on this field, you could probably get a private pilot's license for maybe $7,000 or $8,000, about $8,000. Cost you $50 if you go to some of those big schools. Yeah. But those big schools now, they might have 50 airplanes. They have the latest equipment, and they promise you an interview with the airlines.
A job. They actually said,
Yeah,
we'll get you a job offer.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of changes, and I've been very happy to be part of it. I think we talked about earlier, I was fortunate enough to be named at that time a few years ago one of 6 people in Georgia receiving the Wright Award. That was Orville and Wilbur, yeah. We have 2 in Floyd County. A fellow that used to own the Coca-Cola company, a friend of mine, he has been awarded that. I also started when I was in the Army. I must have been about 19 years old then, might have been 20, and I was a member of the Civil Air Patrol. So
You retired from the Civil Air Patrol.
well, after 50, I stayed in 50 years.
50 years. How many missions do you think? Search and rescue. How many search and rescue missions do you think you flew?
Hundreds.
It was there's some sad times, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, bad times. But the good thing about it is young fellows that wanted to learn to fly.
Get in the air.
I gave hundreds, maybe thousands of orientation flights in the Civil Air Patrol, and that was their first introduction
To aviation.
to aviation. And be an instructor, sometimes I'd let them fly. I don't know if that was a rule or not, but I went from a private in the Army to a sergeant, but then I got in the Civil Air Patrol, I become a lieutenant colonel. And I figured from a private to a lieutenant colonel, I'll be able to do something, you know.
Let them fly.
Let them fly. But we've had the ROTC. We have an ROTC program at the local Rome High School, and I've been their guest speaker a few times, and I've been invited to their banquets. And so the Civil Air Patrol is a great place to get introduced to aviation.
If you've got one, if you got a chapter, go join.
Yeah, go join one. If there's not one in your town, drive and find one.
Or go start one.
Go start one, yeah. And I have been an instructor at the National Command School at Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, Alabama. And I've also taught in the school up in Tyson in Knoxville, Tennessee. And because of that, they let me go back and lay on my stomach in the back of one of those planes and watch them refuel a jet.
Oh, when they let the gate down and refuel one.
Yeah.
Woo!
One of the great honors I had was I was invited to fly on one of the Air Force jets up to Offutt Air Force Base when the Strategic Air Command was still in existence, and I'm not sure if that's still there or not.
B-52s.
I think so. I always think of Jimmy Stewart. He was flying something like.
He was flying a big
boy, and I was used to seeing sergeants and lieutenants and captains, but they were loaded with generals up there, all over the place. But they'd show you a map. They knew where every Air Force plane in the world was.
In case they had to call them up.
Oh, they were there. I mean, the defense of this country is good, and we should never let it down. And I'll really on special military days.
Yeah.
I've been responsible for the ushers at First Baptist Church for about 40 years, and I'd usually put my uniform on those particular days, and the women will come in.
You look a lot better with that uniform on.
They'll say, I didn't know you could still wear your uniform, and they want you to hug them, or they try to hug you, you know?
Get their picture taken.
Oh, yeah, and you know, my twin brother, Ed, he was up here one time, and he was standing next to me, and somebody thought it was Earl, you know, because he was up here visiting, and they would hug Earl's neck, and it was Ed, and somebody else said, "That's Ed, that's not Earl."
Twin.
and Ed said, "Don't mess up my mess up my program."
I'm on a roll.
I'm on a roll here.
If somebody wanted you to consult on the purchase of an airplane,
Yeah.
just call you at 707
706
706
346
346
7557.
7557.
Or advice on building a
Or
hangar.
advice on building
or
a
buying
hangar.
plane.
Building a hangar or buying an airplane, I can
Getting
help them.
started in aviation.
One of the best things they could do also is get them a copy of Trader Plane, or go on Google
Yeah.
and find Trader Plane, and they hundreds.
Get on the market.
Right now, there's on Trader Plane, I believe there's golly, I don't know,
2200
2,200 advertised
Airplanes.
Airplane, yeah,
for sale.
for sale. So there's a great opportunity, and right now, for a few years back, these young guys, you know, they couldn't get a job flying.
Woo!
They're giving them a bonus now.
To come on.
Yeah, a signing bonus. I mean, you think you would the what is it in Jacksonville where you live? The Jacksonville Jaguar.
The Jaguars.
They'll give a guy some money.
Yes, to come be with us.
And you know, for our hometown, and he got a ride in a jet, and I think it was not Baxley. I can't think of the town right now. I'll think of it in just a second. From our hometown, Stetson Bennett.
From Blackshear, Georgia.
He's Blackshear, Georgia. He's a quarterback at Georgia, University
National
of Georgia.
Championship.
Boy, he's big.
Oh, they came to Florida and whipped the Gators bad in the Gator Bowl.
I remember that.
Oh yeah,
I remember that.
That's seared in the memory.
Yeah.
A lot of broken hearts.
A lot of broken
Yeah.
hearts.
Yeah.
Would you mind talking some more about aviation in the future on this channel?
Well, I would. I'd be happy to.
There's so much, you know, that we could make this just go on hours and hours.
About the only thing I talk about this day and time is my great grandchildren and flying and airplanes, you know.
Nothing else.
Yeah, I spent 50 years in insurance, and I told you I was bivocational. I did the flying on the side, so I had to make a living in the
To support your habit.
yeah, and so
Well, you met your wife out of it.
Oh yeah, I
The
bet.
Cotton Queen.
The Cotton Queen, made of cotton, Dale County, Alabama.
All right, let's tell these folks again how to call you.
Okay, Earl Tillman, Rome, Georgia,
From Georgia.
706-346-7557.
KRNG, they're welcome anytime.
Or
Might-
email
I might even get them an airplane ride.
Oh,
Ooh.
email
Earl Tillman, 1933.
Earl Tillman 1933 at
At
gmail.com.
And the other email that we had, I don't know if that's still right, Earl Tillman at Comcast.net. Do
That
we
one's
still have
still-
that one?
yep, still have
That's
that
what
one.
I'm accustomed using, Earl Tillman at Comcast.net.
Okay.
I know that one better than I do that Gmail.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, they really messed me up. I have over nearly 10,000 hours of flying time, and somebody came up last few years, and they came up with a cell phones and an iPad, and I'm having to learn all over again.
Put the EB6 away.
Yeah, I know, but he said, be away and the 12-inch ruler.
Just take your pencil and throw
And,
it out
and
the
the
window.
map.
The
Yeah, you throw
abacus.
it out the map.
And the
You got to
abacus.
start all over.
All
See you
right, see
soon.
you later.
All right.
Bye.
Come see us.